Hello, hello. I apparently quickly muted then unmuted the mic. The volume has since changed, and there we go. Head over to here, except this time I gotta change this to that, and the audio also has to be changed to that. There we go. Let me do one more thing. Change this to headphones, and then there we go. Okay, let's start. Okay, so right off the bat, I had to sneeze. This window contains information about everything in the game. You can move the window around by dragging and dropping the gray part of the window. Cool. You can move around by dragging anywhere outside of the window. Okay. To get started, go to the first program page by clicking it. Let's do it. Okay. First program, text editor. All programming is done in code windows. Each code window corresponds to a text file containing code. You can rename the file by clicking on its name at the top of the window. The code can be edited like in any other text editor. As long as it's not running, you can execute the program directly by pressing the green play button in the code window. You can create more code files using the plus button in the upper right corner. You can dock a window to another window by dragging it. You will notice that once you start typing, a simple code completion window will pop up. Press Tab to insert the code completion. Use the arrow keys to navigate through the completion options. Don't worry if it's your first time programming, the language is unlocked step by step, so you won't be overwhelmed by all the things you can do. The syntax is also dissimilar of that of Python, which is one of the most widely used programming languages in the world, so learning it is not completely wasted. If you already know Python, it's not a problem either. You'll just be able to skip the early game quickly and move to the more interesting stuff. Code is a sequence of statements that are executed line by line. Currently, the only statements are harvest and do a flip. These are function calls. You can think of a function as a command that can be executed. You can execute it using the parentheses. Try typing these statements in the code window and pressing the execute button. Unlocks. Collecting grass will give you hay. Hay can be used to unlock loops in the unlock menu. Open the unlock menu with the button in the top right corner. Okay, so the first thing I have to do is type, do a flip, and then this executes once. This stops it. If I do this, it's just going to stop afterwards because there's no loop. And if I want to, I can do harvest. Error. Oh. Right. That's technically okay. Cool. So now let's go to unlocks. We have the speed of the drone. We also have the grass upgrade. Okay, loops. That costs 5. Oh, there's another. Okay. If I minimize this, where does... Oh, cool. Okay. You have unlocked the while loop, and the value is true and false. The while loop keeps executing the loop body as long as the condition is true. While condition loop body, don't worry about creating infinite loops. The delays in execution will prevent the program from freezing. Okay, good to know. So it has like a built-in delay. In actual programming, if you were to just do while true, it would consecutively repeat the same thing. For beginners. Perhaps you have already tried to put several harvest calls in a row. This allows you to harvest... Oh, I didn't try that. I should have. This allows you to harvest several times in one run. However, it would be nice to harvest more than 3 times, and writing the same code multiple times is bad practice. The solution is a loop. A loop allows you to run the same code multiple times. The loop takes a condition, which is a logical value that can only be in one of 2 states, true or false. Such value is called a Boolean value. I actually do know some of this, by the way. Not from Python, but rather Unity C#. So I'm going to start summarizing it because I'm lazy and I don't like reading. The loop then executes the code inside the loop until the condition is false while the loop looks okay. So, you know what? I don't need this. Apparently, I could just do this. Now, obviously, in a real setting, this would be a bad practice. I could also do while true, harvest. Now, this would be a terrible thing to do if I were actually programming, according to the 24-hour video on Harvard, because it would essentially just consecutively loop this. If you were actually using Python, you should also add a delay so it doesn't try to run this multiple times at the exact same time. True has never been defined. You must assign a value. Oh. Okay. Oh. Well, I already have that here. I can't do that? There we go. I don't know what happened. It just broke. Maybe I didn't do it capitalized. And now I have infinite money. Oops. Let's do that. Okay. Let's go here. Let's stop that, because that's quite annoying. While the execution has been doubled, the problem is that the drone now harvests faster than the grass can grow, resulting in no harvest at all. To deal with this, if branches... Okay, yeah. I kind of watched a video on this earlier, so we're gonna do if can wait. That's not it. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Unity. Not, yeah, Unity. Harvest. I want to say this will work, but oh. Okay. Oh, I don't need an else statement. I guess that's not required. Cool. Okay, that now costs wood. This costs 300. I can also expand and plant. Let's expand. Okay. So now there's a move function, and then there's arguments north, east, south, and west. We're gonna remove this. We're gonna say move north. And then we're gonna say harvest. North has never been defined. That's because it should be capitalized. Nice. And the following example code will keep moving the drone north and wrap around to the start when it reaches the edge of the farm. If I were actually programming, I'd probably have to move it back myself. Yeah, I have a very minimal amount of experience with coding. I do hope to one day make games, video games. Okay. Let's try this. We're going to plant entities.push, and then we're going to move north, and then we're going to harvest where it should repeat. Okay, no. If can harvest, then we'll harvest. Okay, maybe we only move it north after harvesting. Just to make sure that's not as annoying. Nope, never mind. I want it to plant the bush, then I guess move from north. If it can harvest, harvest. Else, we will move north, I guess. Okay, that kind of does the same thing, so maybe I'll clear this out. I can unlock carrots, debug, and operators. This unlocks planting, which I already did, and then I can also expand the farm. There we go. Oh, I can zoom out. Cool. Farm is expanded. With the while loop, it is not possible until you unlock that. Okay. For loop. I can do it a number of times. Okay. So, 4. I in range, we'll say 3. No, wait. 2. It always starts at 0. Let's try this. Let's try do a flip. Okay, it probably does that. Need that. Okay, so it does it twice. This would be 0. Push forward. Okay. So let's say I did while true, and then we'll say harvest, and then we'll say this will be move north, harvest. It should be like that. And then let's try this. Harvest. and then it restarts. Okay, it does it twice every other one. Okay, that's not what I want. I want it to harvest and then move north. Okay, that works because of the while loop. And then we'll do is it east? Okay, it should be 3 then. Okay, there we go. Cool. Let's say I want the first one to be berries. I'll take this, copy it. Hopefully I can copy and paste it. I can, okay. We're gonna say then this is going to be plant entities.bush. And then this will just harvest. Then we'll do another move east, I want to say. Okay, so now it'll go forward and plant these. Then it'll move east, harvest these, move east, harvest these, move east, which will bring it back to here. So I need one more harvest these, and instead of move east here, it'll kind of just restart. Let's try that. Okay, that works. But here's the other possibility instead. What if I push harvest here? I did kind of stop the drone in the wrong spot. So let's replace that. Nice. And I can go to grass upgrade finally. Increase the yield of grass. I can also get drone speed. That needs carrots, which means I can unlock carrots. After 100 of those, I can get that, and then I can also get operators. I need a lot more wheat. Okay, we'll unlock carrots. Oh, I'll also have to till the soil. Okay. So here I'll do harvest, till, and then plant entities dot carrot, and then that should till it, turn carrots. Aha, okay. So the first thing I have to do now is if can harvest. I need to push that in there. If can harvest, and then I'll push a tab here. And I really should do that since it's better practice to just make sure things work better anyway. Oh. Interesting. Hang on a second. Okay. Warning. Cannot plant entities. Yeah. Okay, so got a debug log. Okay, so for I in a range of 3, can harvest, then do it. Then we want to plant the bush, move north, repeat this, repeat it again, and since I is now 3, moves east. For I in a range of 3, if can, I in a range of 3, if can harvest, then it should hit. Oh, if I tilled soil, it untills it. Let's set this to till. Okay. Now we'll remove this. Okay, cool. Now we can go to unlocks. Cool. Now I can use the print function. Okay, good to know. Awesome, now I can use operators. Whoops, don't need that. I can't yet create or reference functions or anything like that, so... Water plants to make them grow faster. That's 50 wood, 70 carrots. Okay. Okay. Now we need to change this for 4. And then, I think we need 1 more of these. And then... Okay, first one is bushes. Second one should be carrots, so... We'll do till. Oh, I forgot a parenthesis, that's fine. Okay. So now I can remove till. And play. Oh, timing. Okay. Sensors. And variables. I can also now define my own functions and also you make lists. That's 1,000 carrots, that's 80. And I can also now use watering. Okay, how do I get water? Let's see, watering. Plants grow faster when they're watered. The ground is at a leveling range 0 to 1. Use the function get water to return... Wait, returns the water level of the ground. Okay. It looks like I just get water over time. Upgrading unlocks watering will give you an extra tank of water every 10 seconds. Cool. Okay, now we're getting into very complicated stuff that I would actually have to read. So... Okay. here's what I can do now. Let's clear all this. For I it's not operators, it's not print. It's not that. Okay. For I in range, we'll say 4. Oh, okay. If get entity type equals entities dot push oh right, I also have to do that. Harvest plant, we're gonna say entities dot push and then move north. Actually, let me delete move north. Okay. Else. Wait, can I do else if? Is that a thing I can do? Get entity type. Entities dot caret. We're going to harvest plant entities dot caret. And then we'll do else if get entity type is equal to entities dot grass harvest. Then regardless of what happens, we'll do move north, and then we'll do at the end of each of those move east, and then it should restart. Aha, I don't have else if, do I? Okay, let's try that. And I've shortened it. Easy. Yeah, functions are very confusing. I'm not gonna mess with them. I could also use a list. Import things from other files and unlocks utilities such as minimum, maximum, absolute, and random functions. I think random would be pretty cool. I think I could now stop it anywhere. Okay. We'll do plant entities dot push real quick for starting. And if, wait, hang on, watering. Call use items, okay. Use item, items dot water. And then it'll do for I. Wait. I think I technically want that before the if statement because I want to use water. Right, and I'll also delete that now. There we go. Now it doesn't matter where I start it as long as the plant. Uh-oh. Guess it doesn't matter where I start it. It has to be on the bottom tile. There we go. Okay, we're gonna say if get ground, wait, no, get ground type equals, oh, elif, okay. Okay, hang on. Actually, we don't even need the water. Nothing grows so slow that it needs water. Okay. Okay. Let's do if get entity type equals entities dot tree harvest and plant entities dot tree. And then what I want to do up here is oh, wait a minute. I just realized that's not going to plant carrots now. Okay. Plant okay. There we go. Okay. Now I want to do plant entities dot tree move north. We'll do move north again. And then plant entities dot tree. Then we'll do move north, move north, and then move east. And then we'll restart this. Okay. Okay. So here's the thing I forgot about. I need to do harvest before I do plant tree. Because I can't plant things there. Okay. Harvest, plant tree. Harvest, plant tree. Okay, delete all that. Now I have 2 trees. And then but I think I'm gonna need to add if I can harvest it. Because I might not be able to, depending on the growth speed. Yeah, it does take it out too quickly. Okay. So, specifically for trees, if can harvest, then we'll harvest it and plant it. And then we'll do else. What if we do else, move none? Cool. Seems like that doesn't become an issue. Okay. What if we did, if it's a tree, we would harvest it, and then we would also use items dot water specifically on the tree. Also, I think it would have to be after that. Okay. Maybe water doesn't work on grass. So if you can harvest the tree till and then I'll remove that. There we go. All right, let's do this. Okay. Okay. So what I had just unlocked was a lot of speed. So now I actually need this entire thing to exist. If can harvest, then it should harvest, oops, and plant. I want to say else. Oh wait, I also did forget that. Move none. Same thing here. If can harvest, else move none. If can harvest, else move none. Okay, let's try this again. Error. The argument move none. Okay, none is not a valid argument. Fair enough. I suppose instead of that, we'll just let it skip and move over. Um, okay. So here's the next thing I need to do. While, okay, sensors. Okay. While true, we will get okay, get position Y, and then hang on, we also have variables, right? So we're gonna do A is equal to true. Can I do that? A equals true. And then, wait, I actually want A to equal false. Okay. Well, true, get Y position Y. If get position Y is equal to 0, A will equal true. And then while A equals, or I guess if A equals true, let's try that. Okay, while true, get, oh, wait a minute, I forgot something. If the position is 0, set that to true. Else move south. Okay, try again. We'll do while A is equal to false. Helps that. Cool. Oh, wait. Does it, like... If it's true, then it runs... Okay. So I do need this to be while A equals true. Okay. And then we'll do... Oh, wait. Hang on. Let's do this. Well, no. Let's do A equals false. And then we'll do B equals false. Well, B equals false. Get position X, or no, yeah, X. And then if get position X equals 0, then we'll do B is equal to true. Then we'll do else move west. Okay. Wait. There must be, oh, okay. I see. Cool. So now it doesn't matter where I stop it, it always forces it to go back to the default place before it continues. Or before it starts, it always defaults it back. There's lists. fertilizer for there. Expansion, which needs pumpkins. And then I can also get sunflowers and power. Now I'm starting to get to the point where I don't really need a lot of wheat. Or a lot of grass, I should say. I think the only thing I actually need grass for now is to increase the yield of grass. So, let's go to the way top. Actually, wait. I do want this to be reset. I'll do while A equals true and B equals true. I want to say that is how I use that, right? Hang on. Operators. Wait, can I actually just type and here? Interesting. Okay. So let's open a new function. If I do move north and I play this. Oh. What if I do that? Oh, I also do need to clear it. There we go. Okay, that resets it. So instead of doing this every time, I could just do that. And then this could just be while true, although I think I'll do this like a manual reset for extra testing, and then it'll guarantee a reset. There we go. Okay, now I want to say harvest plant entities dot tree use items dot water, and then we'll do move north. I don't think I can reference the other functions yet, or other files yet, I guess it is. So now we'll do harvest. Actually, let me do this. Copy this, paste it. I don't want to use water this time. And I want to plant a bush this time. And then I want to do the same thing again. So that's tree, bush, tree, bush. Then we do move east. Then we do the same thing, except this time it's going to be the opposite. I harvest the bushes first and then the trees. Same thing. And then we'll do move east. Oh, and I suppose there is one major difference. Okay. First, let's separate all of the harvests. That way it's easier to read, because this is more of a manual thing that I'm pushing in. Actually, you know what? I have an idea. Okay. I need a few different files. Okay. First file will be move north. Second file will be move north, then east. Third file will be till. And then we go into the manual planting files. And this should allow me to essentially plant anything I need manually. Okay, this will be harvest, and then this will be plant entities dot caret, and then this will be the same thing, harvest, and then actually this is just harvest, which I probably don't need, but I'll do anyway. So it'll do that. Move north, bush. Okay. We're gonna move you north, then east. I then want to do the bush, except I'm unable to because it's tilled. Move north. And then I need tree. Move north. Bush. It says apparently bushes can be placed on tilled ground, but I don't really want that, so I'm gonna till that and then put a bush there. Move north. Tree. North, then east. I want to till and then plant a carrot. And then we can take our main function, play it, it'll go back to default, and then it'll just reset. Perfect. Let me try something. Do I actually need get position here? Or is that something that senses? Okay, yeah, that's something that senses on its own. I don't actually need get position as a separate thing. I'm used to Unity where I would need to set a variable to the position of something else and then use that later. Nice. Got a warning. Tried to use water but didn't have enough of it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's start closing windows. Because I think I kind of know what I'm doing. Worst case scenario, I can just go back into here and then right-click for more info. Sunflowers collect the power of the sun. You can harvest that power. Measure returns the number of petals of the sunflower under the drone. They have at least 7 and at most 15. They can already be measured before they're fully grown. Several sunflowers can have the same number of petals, so there can be several sunflowers with the largest number of petals. In this case, it doesn't matter which one of them you harvest. As long as you have power, the drone will use it to run twice as fast. It consumes 1 power every 30 actions, like moves, harvest plants. Executing other code statements can also use power, but a lot less than drone actions. Okay. In general, everything that is sped up by speed upgrades can also be sped up by power. Anything that is sped up by power also uses power proportional to the same time it takes to execute it, ignoring speed upgrades. Okay. Let's get you to the beginning. Get a new thing here. We'll do harvest, and then we'll do plant entities sunflower. Okay. Now we'll run. Oh, right. I also need to do this. If get entity type is equal to entities dot sunflower. Wait, it says if there are at least 10 sunflowers on the farm and you harvest the one with the largest number of petals, you get 5 times more power. Okay, interesting. That needs at least 10 sunflowers, which would cut down on all other things, though. My farm is not big enough to actually do that yet, so we're just gonna do harvest, and then we'll do, oh wait. If can harvest, and then plant entities dot sunflower. There we go. Okay, it looks like it covers half the farm right now. Okay, so set this and then we'll do move east twice. Let me actually till this harvest and then okay. Does have to be tilled ground. And then if I do this, kind of do want to use water on the sunflowers, so let's do that. And then we'll do this. And it's gonna tell me tried to use water, didn't have enough of it. Okay, let's remove the use items. Water, because I don't actually have any. Oh. Okay. I guess sunflowers will use water on. And I also want to use fertilizer if I have it. And it'll stop using fertilizer now because I just don't have it. Wait, could I do if items dot water uh is greater than 1? These items water. Does that work? Oh, equal to or 1. Okay, let's go to functions. Not functions. Senses. Oh. So I have to use number of items. And then this would be and I also want this to be greater than or equal to 0. I'll copy and paste that. This time it'll be fertilizer. And I want the same thing for trees. That way I no longer get the issue. Oh wait, what's this? Weird substance. Okay, wait. Fertilizer can make plants grow instantly. Oh. Use items to fertilizer to reduce the remaining growing time of the plant under the drone by 2 seconds. This has some side effects. Plants grown with fertilizer will be infected. When a plant is infected, half of its yield will turn into weird substance when it's harvested. Weird substance can also be used on plants while it has the effect. Okay. So let's say we do use fertilizer and then use items dot weird substance. Okay. It definitely should not be pushing that onto other plants. Okay, if you use it on a healthy plant that has neighbors, it will cure the plant but infect the neighbors. That's fine. I'm willing to accept that. I just don't want my trees being infected. I can handle the bushes being infected. Also, I do need that to get more infected substance anyway. I need 350 carrots. If, num items dot water is greater than 0, use items, or items dot water. There we go. Okay. I was hoping the, weird substance could be sensed. Or if a plant was infected, I should say. I wish that was something I could sense. You know what I want to do? If it's a sunflower. I want to measure. Can I do that? Wait. Okay. What if I do print measure? Okay, cool. 14. Okay, so I want if it can be harvested. I'll measure then harvest it. Otherwise, I don't care. $13, $10. Cool. Hang on a second. Go back to the beginning. Move north, move north. Why is there not a tree there? There we go. You struggled for a second. Oh, you're struggling. Okay. So I definitely don't want that unless I need it. It seems like printing is not a great idea. I also now have enough carrots to unlock pumpkins. Oh. Okay, so 1 by 1 yields 1 pumpkin, 2 by 2 yields 8 wait. A 2 by 2 pumpkin yields 8 instead of 4, 3 by... Okay, so if I put pumpkins on all of these, what would happen is it would actually give me 16... Or sorry, 64 instead of 16. And then anything larger, if like a 5 by 5, it yields that times 5. Oh. For n is greater than or equal to 5. So I guess the highest it can go is times 5, so it won't be 6 times 6 times 6, but rather 6 times 6.5. It's a good idea to get at least 5 times 5 the size pumpkins for the multiplier. That means even if you plant a pumpkin on every tile on a square, 1 pumpkin may die and prevent the mega pumpkin from growing. Okay. So... expanding needs pumpkins, unfortunately. So let's create a new function. This function will be harvest and plant entities dot pumpkin. Okay. Let's stop this. You're gonna move north. We're gonna harvest, and it won't actually let me do that, so let's till this. Plant pumpkin. Move north. Right, till, then plant the pumpkin. East. We're just gonna plant the pumpkin here. And then we're gonna move north until I can plant the other pumpkin here. And that creates a giant pumpkin. So now, we're gonna go down to here. And then we're gonna do if get entity type equals and entities dot pumpkin or entities dot none. Oh wait, hang on. Or get entity type equals entities dot none. Or maybe it's just none. Yeah. And I also don't need this. It would technically be that. Then we're going to harvest. Oh wait. If can harvest, then I want you to harvest. Else. Oh wait, actually I don't want an else. After that if statement, I just want to plant entities dot pumpkin. Error. How about that? Oh, like that. Okay. Doesn't exactly have enough time for the pumpkins to grow. So we're gonna do that. If number of items, we'll say items.water is greater than 0. Use items.water. And we're gonna go over to the trees. And we're gonna remove these. Because I don't think I want trees anymore. Or at least I don't really care if they grow too quickly. Okay, there's no mega pumpkin there because it died once it grew. Look at that. That one died once it grew, so did that one. This has a 20% chance, but it's been quite common for these to perish. Dinosaurs. Cactus. Alright, let's get another expand. Alright, move you back to the beginning. We are going to till this and place a sunflower. We're going to move you forward. I think I want to till you and use a tree here. Bush. Okay, what if I do a tree here? Bush here. I want to move these south, I think, and east or west as well. Okay. There we go. We're going to till this, plant a pumpkin, plant a pumpkin. Okay. North, till, plant a pumpkin. Come on. Okay. North, till, plant a pumpkin. Okay. East, till. Let's put that in the middle there. Nice. Nice. Giant pumpkin. Okay. I want to tell you to plant a carrot. And I think that's it. Let's go to the beginning and do this. Oh, you know what I forgot about? Well, first, let me plant a bush here. Because otherwise that would be pumpkins as per my code. I forgot about one very important thing, and that is that this is now 5. Nice. Unfortunately, we did lose a pumpkin. Okay. I think what I want to do... I'm gonna swap which ones are bushes and which ones are trees. So this one's gonna be a bush. This one's gonna be a tree. Oh, whoops. Alright, no, this one's gonna be a tree. This one's a bush. Tree and bush. And the reason for that is because these might get infected because of the sunflower. The idea is that hopefully I could prevent the sunflower from infecting trees, but rather only infecting bushes. Okay. Let's pause this. Move you to here. I will till this and plant another sunflower. And then we'll try again. There we go. Alright, another expansion is 500 pumpkins. I think really I could get away with just doing pumpkins for the expansion, but... yeah, it looks like everything just needs pumpkins or carrots at this point. And then there's cactus and dinosaurs, which I don't have yet. Okay, we're gonna change main void for a secondary only pumpkin void. I'll also move these till okay. If can harvest. Wait, that's not right. If can harvest, harvest, and then we'll do plant, plant entities dot pumpkin. Oh, and I forgot the okay. For I in range 5. If can harvest, harvest, plant entities move north, and then outside of the thing here, we'll do move east. There we go. What's going on? Didn't have required items to plant? Oh? Hang on. I need carrots to plant pumpkins? Wait a minute. Planting them costs carrots. Oh. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna copy and paste this, and we're gonna change this to carrot, because I need carrots. Wait. Oh, also, I don't want it to only be if I can harvest it. There we go. Oh, and technically I could expand again, which I'm going to do. We're gonna stop this, go to 0. Oh, cool. I didn't know I could put these together. Okay, carrot time. And yeah, I kind of forgot about something. Pause. Okay. Firstly, you can change. You can change, and you can change. There we go. Now I just get as many carrots as I can. Oh. Didn't have the required items to plant carrots. Okay. What is said required item? Cost wood and hay. Okay. So, um, Okay, what does planting trees require? Just to make sure. Doesn't look like they require anything. Okay. Oh. Um. Okay. And then south. Okay, that requires carrots. So let's go to pumpkin. Actually, let's go to pumpkins real quick. Or none. Let's remove that. And let's go to carrots. And then we'll do or get entity type equals none here. And then we'll play that again. It should be able to plant carrots. Why can it not? Why is that? Also, the pumpkins will last until they die, so. And that pumpkin is living a lot. Interesting. Okay. Okay, why exactly am I not getting carrots planted? I did say if it's carrot or none, it should work. Huh. I have no idea. The only thing I can think to do... What about that? Okay, that's not right. Okay, let's try that. Doesn't take any arguments, okay. It's none, but it doesn't seem like they want to plant. And now I just get an endless amount of carrots. A very endless amount of carrots. I kind of want to unlock random, but I can't get that just yet. Lists, that requires carrots. Okay. List row. Okay, interesting. So the list contains two values. One is true, and one is the item hay. This is empty. You can access it by its index, but index is 0 for the first element, 1 for the... yeah. It goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, but it starts at 0, so it's actually 0, 1, 2, 3. List entities.tree, entities.carrot, okay. And then you can plant list number 1 in the list. You can iterate over list using for a for loop. List 4725, sum 0, okay. So what if I planted a random plant in that loop? It wouldn't be efficient, but it would be random, and I would kind of like that. Alright, grass upgrade requires grass. Seed upgrade, oh, speed requires carrots now. And that's the most I can upgrade with that. Now it requires, looks like cactus. Expanding it no longer requires pumpkins, but rather bones, which means I have to unlock dinosaurs, which means I need more pumpkins. I can increase the carrots rate. I no longer have enough wood for carrots. Oh, now I do. And unfortunately, even if I have this as carrot or none, I don't think it'll work. Let's say or ground. Get ground type. is equal to... Is it soil? Oh, it's grounds and then it's... Wait. Alright, well, we're gonna try get entity type again, and then we're gonna say is equal to none, because it's or, it should work. Oh, you know why it's not working? For some reason, I have the plant inside of if it's harvestable, and I shouldn't. Okay, now no matter what, like even if it's not harvestable, it still says plant. And that's fine because it shouldn't go over it. It shouldn't replant over it. See how even the smallest issues with programming can cause issues that are much larger than you thought? Okay. Stop. Move up. Gonna plant pumpkin. Left. Pumpkin. Up. Pumpkin. Right. Pumpkin. And then we're gonna go down, down. Over. Pumpkin. And then we're gonna change this back to here. And then we're gonna try again. Nice. Oh, nice. I got 2 large pumpkins. That's gonna give me 8 instead of, 4. %20 chance, but all 4 of them just perished. Oh. Okay, that's fine. Oh. How many, grass do I get when I break it? At this point, everything needs a minimum of pumpkins, so yeah, let's wait on that. Simulation. Okay. And then there's timing for 1,000. I think the first thing I'll get is utilities, or maybe import. I could do a self-sustaining system, I think. If I have a certain amount of hay, I would plant trees. Let's see. We have pumpkins open. Well, actually, let's just. Okay. So I don't get information about wood. I can get information about carrots, watering, power, fertilizer, pumpkins. Okay. Unlocks, trees, sunflowers, and pumpkins. Oh. Okay, so carrots needs 8 wheat and oh. So it doesn't look like this grows. Okay. Pumpkins require 1 carrot. Sunflowers also require a carrot. So I don't want any sunflowers, since it seems like this has gone fast enough anyway. But that means I need 8 wood and 8 hay. To plant 1 carrot. That's kind of terrible. That means per run I'm doing 64 of each. I have no idea how much I'm getting. Speed upgrade, okay. Oh. Cool. Okay, cool. Now I'm getting a 600% yield, which means I think I'm getting 6 instead of 1 at each point in time. I should probably look at this. Yeah, 6. And then the double pumpkins, instead of giving me 24, should give me... What is it? 6 times... Wait. 6 times 6 is 36. Times 6 is... Oh, so pumpkins definitely go exponentially. I didn't even realize that. That's kind of crazy. Look, I got random now. Nice. I want to try a function real quick. Okay, oh, right. I also need to see how lists work now. I'm gonna do the list is equal to... How many things could I plant? Okay, we're gonna say 0 for now. Till... Wait. Interesting. List could be... I guess ground.soil? Ah. And then we could do entities dot grass, entities dot bush, entities dot tree, entities dot carrot, entities dot sunflower, entities dot what is pumpkin next? Pumpkin? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then we're going to do random. Entities items built-ins. Is it operator? No. Random? How do I use random? I actually don't know. Okay, okay, let me read this all. So, firstly, use the def keyword to define a new function, def f arg1 arg2 equals false, function code. You can use the call operator to call the function, f42. Also see scopes to learn about local variables and functions. Okay, this has print. Oh, not what I wanted to do. Oh, wait. Oh, absolute. Okay. let's go back to functions here. You already have built-in functions like harvest. You can also define your own functions, which allows structuring your code into a modular way. It basically allows you to give a name to a block of code and call it from anywhere you want. For example, you could define a function that moves the drone several times using def, move, and direct, move and dir, and dir. For I and range n, whatever that range would be, move that direction. The def keyword, okay. And endure are parameters. They're variables that hold values that are passed into the function. These values are also called arguments. You can use as many parameters as you want. The colon comes after, okay. So I guess I'm just gonna have to guess. We're gonna do, if can harvest, okay. And then we'll do plant list dot rand. Can I do that? And then move north. Okay, random doesn't take any R. Okay. Say 6? Wait, yeah, it says random. Okay. What if I did plant random? And then, okay, how about that? The one argument of plant was 0.02. This is not a valid argument. Okay, list. Oh, wait a minute. Def random. Hang on. Between 0 and 1. Okay. So and then we're gonna do list. We'll do index equals random times len of the length of the list divided by 1, and then return list index. Okay. Okay. So index equals random is anywhere between 0 and 1. Um, The length of my list is 7, so what if I do that? It stops there. Okay, what if I do if index equals 0 till else plant entities dot, we'll say pumpkin. It just stops there. I don't actually know how this works. Okay, what if I did this? Oh, wait, I need that. Okay, there we go. Oh, I should also do this. There we go. Index has never been defined. Okay. Let's do that in here. This will go out. Index is equal to random. And then that's length of the list. And then we'll do, what if this is supposed to be list index? Wait, what if it's a random element? And then let's say it's a random element of index. What if it's the random element of list dot, there we go. List index. Index has never been defined. Okay, I'll do research on that. For now, I'm actually just gonna clearly, or permanently delete this file, I suppose. I actually don't know how to, oh. Yeah, I actually don't know how to do that, so. We will continue on main for now. With a small, very small change. This should be a tree. But, I've been going for a little bit. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll get a little bit further next time. I'll definitely also try and figure out how random works, because for whatever reason they really don't understand, or really don't explain, I should say, random as much as I should. The most I get out of it is functions, and functions doesn't really tell me how to use random. And then if I go over here to where random is there, samples a random number between 0 inclusive and 1 exclusive. it also returns the random number and takes 1 tick to execute. So, for example, if I make a function and call it random element, it would take in the list, then I have index equals random times the length of the list divided by 1, and then return the list index. But if I were to do this, the length of my list is 7, so say this generates 0.2, it would technically multiply that by 7 and give me 1.4, then divide it by 1, which does not do anything. So that's the main concern I have with that. I could do this. Do random, and then I'll print random. But actually, maybe I'll just print random. .24, okay, 0.17, okay. Let's say I do 7 here. Error. Random doesn't take any arguments. Okay, if I do random times list index and then divide it by 1, it's going to tell me a list hasn't been defined. So we're going to do a list. If I can remember how to do that. Equals 2, we'll do true, and we'll do false. Error. Index has never been defined. Okay, what if I call the list index? What if I do that? Okay. What if I do that? You cannot, okay. Which is weird, because it's telling me index has never been defined still. If I do def random element, and then I'll put in list, then I'll do index is equal to random. Okay, hang on, I see. Okay, if I do that, and then we'll say I just print index, would that work? No, because index has never been defined. What if I return list index? How about now? No, because index hasn't been defined. What if I do that? No. Oh, wait. How about now? And it once again just stops at defining the function. So let's do instead of return this. That also doesn't work. What if I do list? Okay, define, and then it stops again. Oh, you know what? maybe the problem is that I have to call random element, and then finally after that I can print index. Okay, it says random element takes arguments list. I tried to read the variable index before a value was assigned to it. If you want to modify a global variable, you have to use the global keyword to write to the global scope. Error, there shouldn't be any code here. Try removing it or putting in a new line. Okay, let's make index up here. Global x plus equals 1. I have global index. What do you mean it's not readable now? Okay. It just skipped that. Wow. Oh. I see. This isn't supposed to be a list index here. This is supposed to be length of the list. Okay, let's say this is global. Now that shouldn't be there. Never been defined. Okay. Oops. Should be a list index. Okay. What if I do this? I will now print random element because that should, okay, list. Oh. Okay. Let's say we do till. And then, well, not plant, but items. Hey, I guess we'll do that. None, okay. Like global index equals 0, okay. There we go. Shouldn't be any code here. Giving index of value seems to break it. Okay, that says none. Also, it's tilling it, so if I were to do plant, say I do bush here. None, okay. That's printing none. So this prints the random element. Oh, that did plant a bush there. So that goes through the list and then, oh, it does both in the list. Wait, what causes this to do both in the list? It's definitely not the printing. It just does both. What? Wait. So let's say I have harvest and then move north. This being in a list, oh, okay, well, I forgot to put the parentheses. What? Interesting. So maybe lists don't work the way I thought they did, because this is actually just doing what the list says, which is not exactly what I expected. Maybe that's why it wasn't working. Okay, let's till this, and then I'll plant trees again. And I guess I'll run my main function. Very confused on why a list does that. Maybe it's to avoid this. So instead of if can harvest, harvest, and then plant entities tree, I could just do if can harvest, list, harvest, and then plant entities tree. It seems like random element only works if the list contains variables and not actions. Actions, it seems like it just does those actions. So if I were to take like a list of 2, we'll say A and B, and then I were to... Actually, let's just do this. And then under here, I were to print the list. I want to say index. Error A has never been defined. Also, I probably don't want while true to be there. We'll say global A and global B. Try it again. Okay, so in this case, they have to be defined. So we'll say A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 1. And this will never return that, so we're actually gonna copy or remove that and then replace it with random element list. And then it will either print 1 or 0, depending on which one it is. That gave me a 2 for some reason. Okay. Is that because... the list length. Okay, let's try that. What does that do now? Okay. So the list length isn't actually needed, which is very confusing. I'm so confused. What? And in that case, I really don't even need that. I can just do 0, 1, and it will still just give me a random number. In other words, I pick random values, get a random item from the list, or random number from the list. There's probably a more efficient way to do this. I just don't know what it is. Also, why is my thing so quiet? There we go. So, let's say I do if random, actually, if random element list is equal to 0, move north, and then we'll do up to 4, since there's technically 4 directions, or up to 3 since it's 0, 1, 2, 3. If it's 1, we'll move east. If it's 2, we'll move south. And if it's 3, we'll move west. Error. A bracket close is expected here. Is that because I'm technically not supposed to put parentheses around this? Oh, yeah, actually, I'm not supposed to put parentheses around it. And now I can just move to random locations. That's funny. Interesting. For this, oh, also, this kind of just lets me farm up water and fertilizer. But we'll say I guess I'll watch more of the game and see what I can do with it. But I'll end the stream here, and I'll do other things in the next time. Timing. I kind of do want timing. Get time returns the time since the start of the game. Get tick count returns the ticks performed since the start of execution. You can also use quick print. Okay, well, I don't think I care about that just yet. There's also import, so I can import things from other files, and dictionaries, which I can use to access dictionaries and sets, which I think is what I was trying to do with lists. Could also do simulation and, I guess mazes. I have 2,000. I think for the start, I'm gonna get import. So I can do import file name. And then essentially, I'll pause here. What import those allow is I could do import f, we'll say 14, and then we'll say def move random. Error. There must be a call. Okay. And then here, if I do move random, I should be able to, yeah. Let's remove while true. And then if I do while true down here, then it should allow me to, never been defined. It does appear to be defined a file F14. Did you forget to import that? If you imported it, you probably set an import cycle. See the import doc page. Okay, let's look at that again. Helper. Oh, so I have to do F14 dot move. Okay, like that, and that starts to move it randomly. Cool. So I can now actually start importing things over. But yeah, okay. Now on to here. Actually, hang on. Okay. One last thing I want to do. Now, since I have this, I would actually really like if I could, okay, I would actually really like it if I could rename these, if I knew how to rename these. I don't, unfortunately. Oh, I just do that. Okay, that's fine. I know now. Okay, the one other thing I would like to do is make these global, because I don't think they can be referenced unless they're global. Then I will delete this, import F0, and then we'll do, oh, right, I should also define move to start is what I'll call this function. Oops. Okay. Oh, and I also technically don't need these. I forgot about that. Now I'll do f0 dot move to start in parentheses, and then the imported module has a syntax error. Okay, so maybe I don't need these global. There must be a colon at the end because that aligns the function. Tried to read variable a before it was a variable. Did it really? Okay, let's try again. Okay, how about this? Global A and then global B. Then we set it to a value. Oh. Okay. Let's delete these. Let's say f0.a is equal to false. And then f0.b is also equal to false. And then we'll try again. Oh. Well, I probably should put that first. A doesn't exist. Oh, what? Okay. How about now? A has never been defined. You must assign a value to a variable before using it. That's what I tried to do here, but didn't seem to work. Oh. What if I... Okay. So this moves it to start. I kind of wanted to do that, but that didn't seem to work. So we're just gonna do this and I'll end the stream here. I'll figure out how those work later. For now, yeah, I'm gonna end it here. That went a little longer than I wanted to today. I'll see everyone in the next stream. And until then, goodbye. Thanks for those who stopped by. I'll see you next time.